After I started dating Zachary Goodwin, I overheard his twin brother say, "Bro, let me pretend to be you and play with Lily for a bit." Zachary carelessly replied, "Sure." I pretended not to know and dated the fake Zachary. But when Zachary saw the marks on my neck, he went berserk. Grabbing his brother's throat, he demanded, "Who gave you permission to touch her?" That night, just after I finished showering, Zachary sent me a message. It was the address of a high-end nightclub. I gripped my phone tightly, not replying. Zachary sent another message. "Don't keep me waiting too long, Lily." I sighed and replied, "Coming right away." I quickly got dressed, and as soon as I left the bathroom, I saw my stepfather standing outside the door. His cloudy eyes were filled with a nauseating desire. "All covered up after a shower? Are you going out?" My stepfather approached me, smoking a cigarette. I stepped back, keeping my distance. "Zachary wants to see me." Hearing those words, my stepfather stopped in his tracks, seemingly afraid. I took advantage of this moment to quickly move past him and open the door. "Shameless girl, you think finding Zachary as your protector means I can't touch you?" Using him to threaten me. My stepfather spat viciously behind me. I turned back and gave him a cold look. "Would you dare?" Then I slammed the door shut. The sound of the door closing mixed with my stepfather's curses reached my ears. When I arrived at the nightclub, I noticed how luxuriously it was decorated, with all the guests dressed in expensive clothes. In my hoodie, I stood out like a sore thumb. As the waiter led me to the VIP room on the top floor, I could already hear voices from inside. "Bro, I heard Lily's been really good to you. Let me pretend to be you and play with her for a bit." As soon as these words were spoken, a chorus of jeers erupted. "Damn, Harrison, you're openly trying to steal your brother's girl. You don't get it, Lily's so pure. She makes soup for Zachary, coaxes him to take medicine. Who could resist that kind of tenderness? But would the great Mr. Goodwin be willing to share? Don't be stupid, Zachary and Harrison are so close, it's not like they haven't done this before." After the teasing died down, Zachary's deep voice finally sounded. "Sure, consider it my welcome home gift to you." His voice carried a carefree laugh. The jeering grew louder. The waiter stood there, looking at me awkwardly. As the person in question, I didn't show any emotion. I smiled at the waiter and pushed open the door to the VIP room. When I first approached Zachary, it was only to gain the Goodwin family's protection, so I wouldn't be bullied at school or coveted by my stepfather at home. As for who exactly I was getting close to, I didn't care. As I entered the room, the young men inside whistled at me. Quite the playboys. I wore a gentle smile as I walked towards the center of the sofa. Zachary and Harrison sat together, looking at me with ambiguous gazes, like predators waiting for their prey to enter the trap. They had identical faces, the same pale skin, both extremely handsome. "Lily, you're here." A hand reached out to me, pulling me to his side. I looked at that face, inwardly sneering. Although Harrison and Zachary looked the same, their auras were completely different upon closer inspection. Zachary exuded a gloomy, oppressive air. Harrison was arrogant and wayward. But it didn't matter to me. I didn't care if he was Zachary or Harrison. As long as he could let me finish my exam safely and leave that rotten home, it was fine. I naturally took Harrison's hand, as if I really thought he was Zachary. Harrison was pleased with my action, and after interlocking our fingers, he pointed to the person beside him. "My brother, Harrison." I saw Zachary frown at this introduction, but he quickly composed himself and nodded at me, as if we were really meeting for the first time. I also greeted him politely, then turned to Harrison with a loving gaze. "Zachary, I bought some hangover medicine on the way. Would you like to take one first?" I had said this to Zachary many times before. Every time he drank, I would prepare hangover medicine for him. After sending him home, I would make him a warm soup for his stomach. Harrison looked at the medicine in my hand, his eyebrows twitching slightly as he smiled. "Sure, why don't you feed it to me?" From the corner of my eye, I saw Zachary holding a cigarette but not smoking it, lost in thought. I brought the medicine to Harrison's lips, feeding it to him. After drinking in the VIP room, someone suggested playing a game. The people with the 3 of clubs and 6 of clubs